Over the past 14 years, I have enjoyed working in a variety of settings with children, adults, and young people. I completed my doctorate in education and leadership in 2018, which focused on England's headship crisis and the career trajectories of deputy and assistant head teachers. During the same year, I also completed the National Professional Qualification in Senior Leadership. As a registered SENCO, my passion has always been focused on supporting young people and adults with disabilities. My passions also lie in adult and child mental health, psychology and school leadership. I'm also really excited about working towards my British Sign Language Level 3. As an early career researcher, I would describe my journey as a non-traditional journey into academia, because I worked with children who were excluded from school while I was doing my doctorate in education. This was something that I had concerns about, especially when applying for jobs, because I hadn't taken a traditional route through the university, so I used to think, will this go against me when I apply for jobs? Time has moved on and my perspective has now changed, because I see that I have valuable lived experiences working with children and adults on the ground, and this forms part of my teaching experience today. When I think about perspectives from the sidelines, that includes observing, preparing myself, and learning to develop my skills and tools. When we think about sporting activities, people that sit on the sidelines are either injured or they're waiting in line for their chance to play on the main teams. As a senior teaching fellow new to the role, there's still that feeling of not really being part of the game, because my contract is a fixed-term contract and it's a part-time role. These things do make a difference, because I do have to be thinking ahead, as in what happens after those 2 years. And how do I prepare myself for the next stages? Will I be ready to join a new team? I have decided to put the uncertainty to one side. As a budding gardener, I've always thought about the conditions that plants need to get through the early stages of growth, then survive and then thrive. I've seen how it takes time to understand plants. It takes research, it takes commitment, it takes vision and responsibility to make sure that the plants are nurtured and they grow as they should. When I reflect on my teaching career, I think back and I see how, as a black female in education, there have been many challenges. There have been the ups and there have been the downs. I have seen white colleagues that I have trained with move swiftly into promoted positions. I also was turned down for senior leadership roles that I knew I had the experience and the knowledge to undertake. Also, over the years, I've seen many teachers racialised as black leave the teaching profession because of the stress that they've experienced. Trying to move up the ladder was not easy, but I persevered and made sure that I developed my own tools and skills whilst working with the children and adults that I supported. These experiences, although difficult, they strengthened me to help me to see that there is not a level playing field, and that I need to start thinking about how I can prepare myself to enjoy my academic career within education. When I completed my doctorate in education, there wasn't that overwhelming sense of excitement and achievement. In fact, I felt very tired. I felt very withdrawn and just empty, because it had been a struggle. At times I felt like I was falling. It took time for me to appreciate my experience, my perseverance, and ignite or reignite my passion for education and research. It's one thing to have the passion to want to do things, but it's another to be able to understand the landscape that one is working in. And for me, I think I'm so grateful for the research out there that has helped to frame my position as a Black female in education. When I think about intersectionality, coming from a working class background, being a Black female in a predominantly white space has always been something that I am aware of. To be honest, this awareness has always been with me, but it's one thing to separate your personal experiences and thinking, am I the problem? To another thing in reading what the research says, that the important studies that have taken place and continue to take place about equality and lived experiences of Black people, people with visual and hidden disabilities, people from social classes and gender orientations that are not the norm, people who are perceived as different. It is now time to dismantle these destructive systems of inequality that are embedded in society and our day-to-day lives. Wayne Dyer says, "Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change." And in the words of the Chinese Buddhist proverb, the lotus flower blooms most beautifully from the deepest and thickest mud. My overall reflection is that struggle and change are part of the journey, and we can continue to work together to ensure that change happens.